Hi friends, today is Wednesday, March 17th, and for Reading with Principal Rabb-Patterson, we're reading 50 Amazing Women Who Have Changed the World, written by Laurie Calkhoven, illustrated by Patricia Castelao. And today we're reading about Lucille Ball and Julia Child. Lucille Ball, comedian, fact file, born August 6, 1911 in Celeron near Jamestown, New York. Spouse, Desi Arnaz, from 1940 to 1960. Gary Morton, 1961 to 1989. Children, Lucy Desi Jr., died April 26, 1989 in Los Angeles, California. Lucille Ball's favorite childhood memories involve going to shows and silent movies and putting on plays. When she was 15, she went to New York City to study acting. In New York, Lucy was told that she didn't have any talent. She went home but didn't give up. 2 years later, she returned to Manhattan, and this time she started getting small parts. One part led to another, and Lucy worked with many great comedians like the Marx Brothers and the Three Stooges. She dyed her hair bright red for one part, and that became her signature look. Lucy met Cuban bandleader Desi Arnaz on a film set and married him in 1940. The couple wanted to find a way to work together, so they wrote a pilot for a TV show about a wacky woman who was married to a Cuban bandleader. TV studios weren't interested, so they took their act on the road, performing around the country. Finally, they set up their own TV production company to make the show themselves. I Love Lucy first aired on October 15, 1951, and was a huge hit. Lucy became the most famous face on television, but she was more than just a funny actress who made people laugh. Lucy was the president of her own production company. After her divorce from Desi, she made more Lucy shows. Lucy had created a character that her fans didn't want to live without. Queen of the B-movies. B-movies were low-budget films that were shown in theaters as part of a double feature with bigger, more popular movies. Lucy made more than 43 B films in the 1930s and became known as the Queen of the B-movies. Get That Girl's Name. Lucy played one of the 12 girls in the film Roman Scandals. She even volunteered to be the one girl hit in the face with a pie. The director reportedly said, "Get that girl's name. That's the one who will make it in Hollywood." Everyone loves Lucy. You can still catch I Love Lucy reruns on television stations all over the world. It is the longest running program in Los Angeles, almost 60 years after Lucy, Desi, and the rest of the gang stopped making shows. And that is Miss Lucille Ball. Julia Child, chef. Fact file, born August 15, 1912 in Pasadena, California. Spouse, Paul Child. Children, none. Died August 13, 2004 in Montecito, California. The most famous American chef, Julia Child, didn't grow up cooking. She loved sports, maybe because she was stronger and taller than other girls her age. She eventually grew to be 6 feet 2. After college, Julia decided she wanted to be a writer. When World War II broke out, Julia joined the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, which later became the CIA. She was sent to the island country now known as Sri Lanka and later to China. One of her fellow OSS members, Paul Child, loved gourmet food. He and Julia often had dinner together, sampling the local foods. After the war, they decided to get married. Julia wanted to take a cooking course, but she was terrible at it. When Paul, a diplomat who posted to Paris, Julia got serious about learning to cook. She studied at the famous Le Cordon Bleu cooking school. Soon, Julia was making delicious meals. 2 French friends asked Julia for help in writing a French cookbook for Americans. It took many years, but Mastering the Art of French Cooking was published in 1961. It sold more than 100,000 copies in 1 year, a number that was unheard of for a cookbook. Julia was interviewed about the book on a Boston television show. She brought a bowl, a whisk, and some eggs to make the interview more entertaining. Before long, she had her own cooking show. The French Chef was an instant success. People liked her enthusiasm and the fact that she sometimes made mistakes. Julia spent the rest of her life making meals on TV, showing Americans that cooking can be both fun and delicious. Bon appetit. Julia always ended her television show with the words bon appetit, French for good appetite or enjoy your meal. Julia's kitchen. By the time Julia and Paul moved to their house in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Julia had cooked in 8 different homes. She knew exactly how she wanted to arrange her new kitchen in Cambridge, and she cooked there for 40 years. When the Smithsonian Institution learned Julia was moving to California in 2001, they asked for her kitchen. Today, you can visit Julia's kitchen on display in Washington, D.C. And that is Miss Julia Child. And today we learned about Lucille Ball and Julia Child. Have a good evening, friends.